Last summer, I was having so much fun walking along the water at the beach, I took photos of my toes in the splashing surf. Yet when I looked at the cool shots later, the first thing I thought was, ugh, look at my cankles. Yep, I have cankles. Essentially, this means my calves hit my feet without slimming down into adorably skinny little ankles. My legs are more like sorta two tapered telephone poles. And of course, when I showed the pictures to my best friend Todd, he said, "What are you talking about? All I see is water and a cute foot." And that's when I realized I was being overly self-critical. And every time you overlook the good stuff because of a flaw you think you have, you are too. Unusual features and imperfections don't dampen things, they elevate them. Mistakes in a coin or stamp are what make them collector's items, worth far more than their face value. You are art in just the same way. So figure out what your thing is and flaunt it. Edgar Degas painted the folds of flesh on robust women beautifully. Common quilts made by the women of Gee's Bend, Alabama, strayed so far from traditional patterns, they've hung in the Whitney Museum. The Leaning Tower of Pisa might not have gotten a glance were it not for its unintentional angle. And Barbra Streisand and Lady Gaga prove that unique noses can help you stand out and shine. Those little things we don't like about ourselves are just that, little things. So if you have a cowlick, a mole, a waddle, a bulge, or a bald spot, big whoop. A little thing only becomes big when you set the magnifying glass in front of it. In fact, chances are those flaws are only obvious to you. You are, and I know this to be true, a profoundly complex, interesting, wonderful, beautiful human being, despite or perhaps because of all the small things that make you different. So figure out what makes you art and defend it. What's in you that's not in everyone else? Whether you order your dessert before dinner or, like me, proudly get your money's worth at an all-you-can-eat Brazilian churrascaria, odd can be beautiful if you own it. But there is also beauty in what can seem ordinary, too. Just like NBC once promoted its television reruns as new to you, what seems average in your eyes can be extraordinarily special to someone else. As artist Georgia O'Keeffe once said when she had an idea for a picture, "Oh, how ordinary. Why paint that old rock? Why not go for a walk instead?" But then I realized that to someone else, it may not seem so ordinary. What is boring to you, or odd, or imperfect, or unattractive, can be endearing to others the minute you choose to own it. Your life is art. Put a big frame around it and show it off. Yeah, I have cankles, but they're my cankles on my legs, and if I'm using them to kick up seawater on the sand, then that's a pretty great place for them to be. Start looking at yourself from a larger place, too. In the big picture, you're perfectly balanced and miraculously wonderful. A priceless work of art. Ask your 100-year-old self. We all wonder which path to take, what career to pursue, who to marry, where to settle down, and when to retire. But you know who can answer that better than you? Your 100-year-old self. When I'm torturing myself over which path to take, I imagine myself as an old wise woman and ask her, what should I do? I ask the wrinkled wise person I'll be blessed to become, sage in experience, or survivor of bad choices and missed chances, the one person who can look back on my life and see where I went wrong, got scared, or grew weak. Try it for yourself. Ask, what should I do? Your 100-year-old self will be gentle and kind, but it will also be the voice of conviction, strength, and fearlessness you might have forgotten you have inside you. It's that voice who'll say, "Oh, for Pete's sake, just kiss her already." And, "My goodness, if you're not going to walk in there and ask for the job, I'll ask for you." Your 100-year-old self will tell you if you're wasting your time on busy work or with phony people instead of spending quality time with people who matter. And if you're over-analyzing emails in your relationship or fighting when you should be fixing. So if you're feeling down on your life, stuck in a rut, or worried about pursuing your dreams, imagine your older self rocking on your front porch. A lifetime of experiences and great loves behind you. When that person looks back at you, what advice might they give you now? I think they would be kind. "You are so young. Please don't waste another day feeling bad about your life," they might say. "If you only knew the great things around the corner for you, the love, the success, the pride that you'll feel in yourself for pursuing what your heart wants. Please don't let that big spirit and big talent go to waste. Go on, follow your heart, and live your life." When I got engaged to my husband Gustavo, my dad filmed my then 90-year-old Grandma Ruth giving us marriage advice.